All right. Welcome, everybody, to today's art business webinar. I'm getting all my little levels here dialed in correctly. My children oftentimes like to mess them up, but it looks like we're in good shape here. Welcome. Welcome one, welcome all. Happy Wednesday. Happy to have you here. My name's Patrick. I run the marketing department here at Art Storefronts, and I've been doing that for years and years and years now. And what is the agenda for today's session? So, given that I run the marketing department, well, I should say at a high level, somehow we've attracted you into our ecosystem, right? You saw something on social media, you got on the email list, you came to the website, whatever it is. And you're wondering, who are these people? Do they know what they're talking about? Why do they email so much? Why is pricing not published on the damn website? Can they actually help us with help me with my art business? So that's the point of this session, to convince you all of the above, or not convince you, as the plan might go. So being that I'm on the marketing side of things, what I like to do is sort of rant about some of the higher level problems, talk about some marketing things, mix it up a little bit, and then turn it over to Q&A on the end of it. And you guys can ask any question you like about anything, anything that we do as a business, Art Storefronts, anything that you guys are struggling on in your individual business. And then, assuming you're like, okay, these Art Storefronts guys, gals are interesting, we do the demo process. I know it's kind of a little annoying, but you go to our website, you fill out the buttons, they're everywhere, and then they take you on like another Zoom call, which is like a guided tour through all the bells, all the whistles, all the software, all the plans, all the packages, all the education, everything else that we do. So that's the agenda for today. I'm gonna rant for a little bit, and then I will open it up to Q&A. Open to absolutely everyone. Can ask anything you like about anything after the fact. One quick announcement before I do, and before I forget, one of the fun things that we've been doing recently is we sort of realized that, we do a ton of marketing as a business, and we sort of realized one of the things that we've done a poor job of is kind of grabbing some of our more successful customers and bringing them on and sort of running interviews with them and talking to them. So we just recently fired up a new series, and so far I've brought on two of our customers and interviewed them, and both of them are well over the $1 million mark. Jonah is selling like $100,000 worth of his art directly a month, which is really, really impressive. But anyway, I interviewed these two folks. One's a photographer. Before I forget, I'm going to throw both of these into the chat because they're brand new. This thing just got published this morning. And then the second one was Meg, Midwestern painter. And the idea is that bring these folks on, interview them for an hour, try to get to the bottom of what makes them tick, what makes it so interesting that they do, and then open it up for Q&A. And so no different than the Zoom session you're on today. We open it up. And I should say also we have a podcast, and if you prefer to listen to those things, Jonah's is already published. Meg's is not. Meg will get published sometime later today. I'm waiting for the editor to send it to me. So anyway, programming notes. We'll talk more about those in just a second. In the meantime, though, one of the things that I like to do is like run through at a high level. We've been in business for almost 10 years now, and we have a little bit over 10,000 customers. So we've been doing this for a while. A good number of those customers have been with us for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So got to see a number of trends, a number of different things. And our position is pretty firm in the sense that we believe there's really only 3 ways to make it as an artist or a photographer, as a creative in today's day and age. And at a macro, I believe very strongly in this. I've been running these sessions like 3 days a week since a little bit before the pandemic. I feel like I talked to hundreds of thousands of artists and photographers now all over the globe, all over every niche imaginable, different age groups and everything else. And aside from real fringy type of cases, one-offs, unicorns here or there, there's only 3 ways to make it. There's only 3 ways, and I like to give it some teeth. So I'll throw out some real numbers. And let's just say everyone's got a different definition of success and what making it means to them. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's grossing $100,000 worth a year. So you're selling $100,000 worth of art a year. That's making it, let's just say. So what are the 3 ways in which you can make it? Number one, the gallery model, right? And, secretly, every single solitary one of you wants to be in that gallery model. You just wish it because you create the work and somebody else does all the rest, right? And you get paid, and that sounds glorious. That's just everyone's dream as an artist. It's also fantasy land in terms of the numbers. So let's just run through this quickly. If someone is grossing $100,000 a year or more in a gallery, which, by the way, according to my math and data, is like 1% of the total artists and photographers that are out there trying to sell, period, or doing something like that in a gallery. You gross $100,000 in sales. The gallery takes 50%, so you're left with 50%. Then you subtract your studio rent, your camera equipment, the trips, your time, everything else, and you're left somewhere with, like, let's just say $35,000. That's hardly a living wage. Let's triple the numbers, make it a little bit sexier. If we triple the numbers to $300,000 a year, you're left with $150,000 minus your expenses. You're making $120,000. The number of artists and photographers in the United States that are at that level is less than 0.1%. So it is not a viable model for most people. The odds are absolutely terrible thinking you're going to make it and be successful that way. And those are just facts that no one ever likes to talk about. And so I think it's important to put those on the table. The other death knell of the gallery model is a long-term and successful art business. The artist, the photographer needs to know who is purchasing their work. Okay? They need to know such that they can build a relationship with those folks and cultivate collectors. Collectors, according to, I love this book, so I want to grab it. According to Weiland, Weiland is the whale guy. Okay, I recommend everyone goes and buys his book, by the way. You can't get it on Amazon. You can only get it on his website. Somebody said it was free audiobook to download now. But write this down. Don't be a starving artist. Weiland, again, Weiland is the whale guy. This thing is hard-hitting, no fluff, no nonsense. One of the best-selling artists in the entire world right now. Very, very good read. Seriously recommend this book. Weiland defines a collector as anyone that will purchase in upwards of 7+ pieces of art from him over the course of a lifetime. And the idea is that you know who's buying your work because you are not selling in galleries. You market to those people consistently. Some small portion are going to turn into collectors, and the collectors go for a ride with you for the rest of your art selling life, okay? You keep producing more and more and more. They just keep coming back and purchasing again and again and again. So what kills you in the gallery model is you have no damn idea who's purchasing the work. That's not your customer. That's the galleries. They don't tell you. That's way number one to make it a successful artist, photographer. Number two is become a road warrior, okay? This is totally a viable way to go about it. It is a very difficult way to go about it. A road warrior is someone that does anywhere from 20 to 45 shows per year, meaning Saturdays, Sundays, pay for the booth fees, drive to the place, set up the booth, on your feet 8 hours a day, eating crappy food, staying in crappy hotels, driving away from your family, inclement weather, summer hits, summer duds. Do that every single solitary year for years and years and years. Completely a viable method to building a large art photography business, to grossing well over 6 figures a year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Great way to go about it. Very difficult, though, if you have a life, if you have a family, if you have responsibilities, if you have a mortgage, a significant other, kids, all the rest. If I was like giving, my 20-year-old self advice, I'd be like, dude, you don't have a mortgage, you don't have a wife, you don't have children. Go and do that now. Go and do that now when you're young and build up a huge list so you can build a huge business. The third way is what we advocate as a business at Art Storefronts and what we teach, which is you, the artist, the photographer, is responsible for selling directly to your potential customers that you attract with your own marketing, okay? And it is a fantastic way to build an art business. It is actually a simple way to build an art business. Simple, but not easy, because it requires all of you guys learning to market, doing that consistently, and realizing the first couple of years are absolutely painful. They just are, as you build an audience, as you learn how to capture emails, as you learn how to post on the socials. But in terms of alternatives, I am not aware of any other way that works. I've talked to thousands of artists. Maybe some of you guys are just like them. Thousands of photographers. You've tried every marketplace site on the planet. You've tried Etsy. You've tried Redbubble, Society6, Saatchi, Fine Art America. No one makes anything approaching even decent income from those sites, aside from a unicorn here or there. And even if you are that unicorn, the algorithm on those sites could change. You could be off the front page and be on page 36, and your entire income stream is killed. And, oh, by the way, they don't tell you who the hell's purchasing your work. So it's the same problem. I don't know of any other way other than that. I have not heard of any other way that an artist or photographer has been successful. And I think it's very important to come to terms with those facts. When you do, your focus is in the right spot, right? It's in the right spot because you say, I actually want to have a business here. I don't want to have a hobby. I want that business to be growing year after year after year. And no one is going to do my marketing for me. No one is going to discover you. No one's going to come and tell you your work is amazing and you're awesome and you're incredible. No one's going to come write a newspaper article about you. It is incumbent upon you, the artist, you, the creative, you, the photographer, to get the word out, okay, about your creations and take the marketing as seriously as you do the creation of the work. The analogy that I love to give about this is every one of your businesses is essentially 2 trains, 2 tracks. Okay, I like to throw in no brakes for good measure. The one train on the one track is the work that you create. All right. It's how good you are at your location, whether it's you and a camera and a lens and understanding framing and your subject matter material, or you and a paintbrush or a pen or however you're doing it. That throughout the rest of your career is a train on a track, okay? Sometimes it'll be going faster, slower than others, but you're getting better at it, you're working at it, you're taking that seriously, your vocation, okay? The other one is how good you are at getting the word out about your art or your photography. And it's something that you need to take seriously. It's something that you need to learn to enjoy. It's something that you need to get good at. And when you understand that, you can sort of ask yourself, am I working on this train or am I working on this train? Because if you're not working on either one, I don't know what the hell you're working on. You're working on a hobby. Nothing's moving forward in the business. And I see this time and time and time again, and I don't think anyone's honest about it. Everyone's talking about a magical formula to Facebook ads or some special collector list, or you're going to sell to interior designers, and it's all complete bullshit. Okay? Unless you take the marketing portion of your business seriously, it is not going to go anywhere. The good news, though, as a result of these things, all right, and social media and the internet at large, the world has been flattened, democratized, and the gatekeepers that once existed and called the shots have been obliterated. And that's an exciting thing, an exciting time. When you contemplate like 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago even, to be able to get your art or your photography in front of as many eyeballs as you can now, we were all geographically limited. We couldn't reach these worldwide audiences. We couldn't instantaneously get our stuff in front of these various different eyeballs. So it's a very exciting time to be an artist. And I always go back to the same thing. It's actually simple, not easy. The not easy part is just the consistency. It's just the consistency in your marketing, right? You know, I just did a podcast episode on this, and I was essentially like talking about what is the most important metric in your guys' business. And of course, the most important metric is sales. We all know that. But if you're going to build a business, you're going to need a second metric. And the second metric that I posited in all of that is it's essentially number of pieces of content that you can create per week. And the reason is that when you focus on that and you put time, dedication, energy, and effort into that, you get good at it. And then you end up getting better than, 98% of artists that are out there who are all doing absolutely nothing to promote themselves or phoning it in or treating their marketing like a New Year's resolution, right? It's January. This is my year. I'm going to get in shape. I joined the gym. I'm going 4 days a week. April rolls around. Nothing. You haven't been once all month. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, right? It just keeps going and going and going. So those are the positions. That is what we do as a business. Yes, we are a website solution that has a fancy website with all the bells and all the whistles and all of that. That's awesome, except for the fact that not one of you on here has a website problem. None of you. The way I like to say it is if I'm the genie in the lamp and I came out of the lamp and I said, Peter, you tell me where you want your website, and boom, I'm going to snap my fingers and move it there. Do you know what's going to change in your business, Peter? Absolutely nothing. Because you can have the nicest restaurant in the world, the best chef with the best decor. And if no one's in the restaurant and you don't have any reservations, you don't have the restaurant problem, okay? And that is what all artists and photographers have. You don't have a website problem. You think you have a website problem. You do not. So really what our secret sauce is a business, is everything that comes after you get the website, okay? You can get a website anywhere. Us, WordPress, Squarespace, Shopify, I don't care any of them. Some of them take credit card and allow commerce, some don't. It doesn't matter. It's what's going to happen after you have the website, because that is where an art business, a photography business is built. And how we do things a little bit differently than everyone else is we teach you how to grow it every single solitary day, 5 days a week, week in, week out, with sessions that we like to call office hours. And it's taken us about, 6 years, 7 years to figure out that this is the only way to solve the problem. But you guys all need to be taught week in, week out how to market yourselves. Then you all need to be held accountable, saying, are you doing your job? Are you getting it done? Are you taking positive steps forward? Are you working on it? Sometimes we have to resort to mild harassment, okay? Sometimes bribery, sometimes cajoling, sometimes emotional support, but it is all of the above all the time, 52 weeks a year, 50 weeks a year probably, and we don't ever stop. And the product is office hours, and it's easy to show a video, so I'm just going to show a video because it's 1 minute or less. But this is the whole point. This is the whole secret sauce of what we do, and we realized this a while ago. Is like, as you're working on and growing this business, you constantly have questions, okay? What do I do here? What do I do there? What's the best way to handle this? And if you don't have experts to help you answer it, you're wasting your time and you're not executing on the tasks that you need to. So here's just a quick montage from Office.
Do I do the email and potentially send it to?
How do I capitalize on these people who are interacting with me on my personal page?
But what I want you to do in that custom artwork strategy is promote the pet portraits to that audience.
So how is it that the print cost is paid or charged?
How wide do we go in terms of niches?
Do you have any like advice or playbook for showing your stuff on a coffee place?
How to make these reels more interactive.
How often should I be advertising and how much should I be spending?
How do I build enough followers to make things go in the sort of secondary step of?
How is it working with social media now if even the word sex is used in a comment?
She's so funny. She has kind of racy content. Anyway, those types of questions and that type of coaching is, in my opinion, the difference between making it and not making it. And really it all comes down to consistency. You know, in that same podcast that I did recently, I was like citing, Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours rule, which he's been beat up over that and apparently stole research, whatever, I could care less. Let's just say you understand what Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours rule, and you read about that. It was in this book called Outliers, and he's saying, become an expert at anything, it takes 10,000 hours, right? There's a new one circling around the internet now called the 100 hours rule. And it states that if you spend 18 minutes per day, every day, at the end of a year, you're going to be better than 95% of the world at that particular discipline, whatever it is, tennis, karate, marketing, da-da-da-da-da. And I realize in both of those, it's just consistency. It's just consistency. That's it. I could care less what branded rule, how special it is. No artist ever markets consistently. There's a number of different reasons for that. You don't like it. You're not good at it. You don't understand how it works. You think it makes you look salesy. You think it makes you look desperate. You think none of the fine artists that made it did any of that, which is the biggest bunch of BS in the history of mankind. Life happens, right? You get discouraged. You're solopreneurs. This thing is an emotional roller coaster. You don't have someone there to pick you up when you're on one of the downs. And all of that is just the truth. And all of that is just absolutely the truth. So, one of the things that we do every single solitary year, and we've got 10 years of data on this, more art is sold in Q4, the fourth quarter, the last 3 months of the year, than in any other quarter all year long, sometimes double any of the rest of them. So knowing that, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holiday buying season, it's just a great time. So we start banging the drum early about that. You guys probably saw it in the email subject line. I think I titled it like 53 days to go until October 1st. Do you know what that is? That's just a way to trick all of you to start taking it seriously now. So to my customers, it's just a way to say like, hey, I don't like running. I don't have any desire to run a marathon. I find that to be a miserable concept, but I do understand that when you sign up for a marathon, you sign on the line and you pay your deposit or whatever, however they do that, instantaneously everything in your life changes because you're not drinking as many beers. You're not staying out as late. You're not eating that extra slice of pizza. You're starting to go for those initial runs, right? So when you contemplate the fourth quarter like that, and when you realize that you have the greatest potential to sell as much art and photography as at any other time all year long, it's a fantastic way to, sign yourself up for the marathon and motivate yourself to actually try and achieve some of that consistency. So very, very important things. I want to rant about one more thing, which is pricing. which most people get completely wrong. Okay, very, very important topic, and then we'll open it up right into Q&A. And the pricing thing drives me absolutely nuts for a number of different reasons. The normal, first of all artists and photographers struggle with pricing, in my estimation. Almost every single solitary one. Number of reasons. Okay, one, you're terrified to charge what you're worth. Two, you don't understand that it's all a game, right? Three, the thoughts of raising your price gives you heart palpitations. Okay. Four, you've been searching around, how do I price my work? Is there some sort of special time versus materials, magic square foot cost that it's going to work for me? Okay, I know some of you have read that article. Such nonsense, all of it. The only thing that matters is that the work sells, okay? There's no pricing formula that's going to help you out. And if the work is not sold, it's not desired, and you're not on a subject matter material that works. So it's very important to understand that. But there's a very easy way to think about it that just works, that just demystifies it, okay? You need, in your lineup, all of you, prices from $0 to $100, okay? You need prices from $100 to $1,000, and you need prices above $1,000, okay? I also argue that you need something obscenely expensive in the store, all right? So let's just say that your originals cost $1,000 to $5,000. I like to see something for $25,000 in the store, okay? It's a thing, there's a psychological phenomenon called price anchoring. Human beings are wired to purchase things based on comparison, so they anchor onto the most expensive thing, and that makes them feel better about buying the thing that you wanted them to buy in the first place. That's number one. Number two, sometimes your marketing will attract high net worth individuals, and they might just buy that thing, so there's some reasons for that. Let's demystify and go back down to the bottom. 0 to 100 is a critically important range, okay? In that range, you need to have non-wall art as a part of your lineup, okay? Non-wall art is a part of your lineup. Why? Because not everyone is ready to buy wall art right now. Not everybody this minute in time is ready to buy wall art right now, okay? They're not. And so you're doing some marketing. You've attracted this person into your creative ecosystem. They like you. They want to reward your creativity. I don't want to spend $3,000 on an original. I'm in between homes. I'm not ready to purchase some wall art right now, but I do like this person. What do they have something under $100 for me? Check, I'm going to get something. Do they have non-wall art? No, I'm gone, right? And you end up losing the sale, okay? And what people fundamentally don't understand is there's only 3 ways to grow an art business. 3 ways. Number 1, okay, acquire a new customer. Everyone knows that. Everyone talks about that. Everyone focuses on that. Number 2, get that acquired customer to come back, all right? The easiest customer to get is the one that you already have, hence 0 to 100, hence non-wall art. And then the third is to raise what we call AOV, average order value. You do this by raising your prices, or you do this by including something else when they make the purchase, okay? Number of different ways to do that, helpful when you have merch, because, hey, you just bought, a 24 by 36 gallery wrap of canvas. Beautiful. Do you want to include a calendar, or do you want to include a mug so you can raise your AOV that way? Another great way to raise your AOV is when someone purchases something locally, go to their house and hang it for them. In the car, have the number of other pieces ready to go, ready to show them, such that you can get an additional sale. People do that all the time. Very, very important there. In terms of the merch, us as a business offer an integration with a merch partner. I quite frankly could care less what the merch is. It can be anything from stickers to mugs to yoga mats to coffee cups to anything. And I get so much pushback on this all the time, okay? I had somebody on Monday lighting me up. Don't go anywhere near art storefronts. Those guys are frauds. They're going to have you selling mouse pads, okay? And I want to go and I find this person and have a little conversation with them. But the way that I don't take it personally. The way I answer the question is, when is the last time any of you went into a museum that didn't have a gift shop? I'll wait. Go ahead and tell me one. Okay? If Van Gogh's Starry Night can be on the wall and somebody can go into the gift shop and buy a print of Starry Night, does that somehow make Van Gogh a schlocky artist? Is it going to make you a schlocky artist? When's the last time you saw a huge and classic band at a show that didn't have a merch booth? They all do. There's a reason, okay? Because they are businesses at the end of the day. And when you understand the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have, you start to realize, okay, you know what? Meg had a perfect version of the story. I'm going to tell it this way. So Meg, she's been with us for 7 years. Huge business. She's sort of branded as the Midwestern gal now. Okay, branded as a Midwestern gal. And if you listen to this interview, down here at the bottom, like, because she's the Midwestern gal, the gigs are starting to come to her. That's because she's branded as. So Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis, right? In this story, if you haven't seen this, he's a guy that grew up in Wichita, Kansas. Meg is the Midwestern gal, right? So he's partnered with a charity. The charity came to Meg and said, hey, Meg, will you paint this thing of Ted Lasso, right? And so Meg is like, this is a great idea. I'm going to do it. She meets Jason Sudeikis. She does the painting of Jason Sudeikis. It gets auctioned off to charity. And what she gets to do is she gets to sell prints and or merch. Okay. That was like sort of the tacit agreement, whatever. And so that's what she goes to do. And you would think like, oh, this is awesome. You know, a Ted Lasso, 55 Emmy winning, the art's going to sell like hotcakes. And you know what she found out? Doesn't. There's crickets. She barely sold any of the prints whatsoever because turns out no one wants Ted Lasso on their wall. But you know what else she had in her lineup? These, okay? She had the mugs with Believe on it. And you can see this like rotating on her Instagram page. We might as well listen to her in her voice. Listen to this.
Streams of income. And one thing that you were really pushing at the beginning of this year was, smaller like merch items, things that people can impulse purchase to pull new customers in. And something really interesting is that I did the Ted Lasso piece like last December. And I did that piece. It was on my website. It was all there. I met Jason Sudeikis. Like we did the whole thing.
Is he cool?
And literally, yes, very nice.
Yeah.
I met him for like, 5 total minutes. So I don't know, it's not like we're best friends, but we, did all that thing. And you would think like, certainly everything sold after that, like nothing, like it was totally quiet. Then as the season 3 and the finale started to like kick up a few months ago, I created a mug like with that image on it and just the word Believe. And I did like a cool video of it. And I did a giveaway with a curator who had like 250,000 followers. And I shit you not, I sold so many mugs that my bank called me because they thought it was fraud, like because there were so many charges coming through from.
Yeah, they ended up happening to her twice, right? And so here she had this opportunity, partnered with a celebrity, did a thing for charity. So it's not like she made a dime on it, right? She's just giving away her time for something cool. Okay, it's kind of cool. But because she had non-wall art in the lineup, she was able to sell thousands of those things. And did she make a bunch of money on it? No. You don't make a bunch of money on merch. You make a couple of dollars here or there. It doesn't matter. Do you know what she did? She acquired thousands of customers into her business, into her email database. And do you know what's going to happen? Some small percentage of those folks are going to come back 3 years later and combine buy $150,000 worth of originals from her, because that's how it works in the real world. Number of new customers that you acquire per year is a very, very important metric to any business, because the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. And again, never underestimate the damn power of a collector. It is the entire business, right? So when you don't acquire the new customer and they leave, you think they're going to remember who you are? No, the math say they're never, ever coming back unless you have acquired a customer, acquired an email address. And so the merch helps you do that. So anyway, I have a very in-depth article on pricing. I will send you the in-depth article on pricing after the fact. I'd love to have you read it. It demystifies what your lineup needs to look like, how you want to price things out, how you want to think through all of that. But yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's my rant. Q4 is a big deal, you guys, and it's coming. Like, we're going to blink. Summer's going to be over. Where did that one go? How is it so short? And then it's into the grind, and before we know it, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, the whole buying season's going to be here. So great time to take your business seriously. Great time to start marketing, taking that seriously, and getting going for the buying season. But enough of that. Let's open it up to Q&A. See what kind of questions you guys have today. How do we do that? If you're one of the brave ones, has your camera on and I can see you, you can raise your hand, old school status, and I'll see it. Yep, I'll get you first, Peter. For everyone else, at the bottom of the Zoom window, you see there's this little smiley face and it says reactions. If you click that, what that does is that allows you to raise your hand digitally speaking, and that helps me out. It kind of forms a queue, lets me know you have questions. If you don't want to turn your camera on, you're multitasking at work, don't worry about that at all. Happy to answer questions just via audio. And then if you are one of the ones watching on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, I can see your questions. I can pull those in. So if you guys want to leave comments, go ahead and leave me comments, and I will answer those as well. Thanks for being brave, Peter, and kicking it off. You're up first. You'll need to unmute.
Oh, all right. So yeah, what's the percentage, the cut that y'all take from commissions or sales, or like what's the model for that?
Yeah. So the easiest way to sort of demystify what we do, yes, we're the website solution. Yes, we're the postgraduate university that teaches you how to market and sell your art for the rest of your life. You pay a one-time fee to get into the postgraduate university. You never pay it again. That goes to pay for the army of people that are going to support you for the rest of your journey. Then you pay a monthly fee for the website. I think there's 3 tiers to the website, and you have the ability to get rid of transaction fees entirely or not. That's an option, I know, on one of the plans. I think at the very highest it goes to 15%, and then the lowest one is maybe 5% or 0%. But you would need to go and get the demo to get like all the ins and outs. So there's options to have none of it if you want, or some of it if you want. You know what the funny thing is? You know what the funny thing is?
So it's kind of like a continued education.
Never stops.
Focused on marketing.
Yeah, never stops. Ever. And it can't ever stop because, you know, the goalposts are moving too damn fast, right? And, you know, one of the interesting things, everyone loves to hang their hat on this, like, one thing that we do. Like, is it the website that you do? Is it the print on demand? Is it the marketing education? Is it the this? Is it the that? I could quite frankly care less what it is. All we care about is that we are moving our customers down the line faster, quicker, and more efficiently than they would be otherwise, right? And they're being successful. But one of the interesting things, you know, and I was showing this off. So Jonah, you guys got to watch this. This kid is so freaking polished for his age. So Jonah, you know, he's started off, and he's got like a very defined niche. You can hear his story. You know how he uses the website? Not at all. He doesn't use it at all. He uses the website to get people to book a call with him so he can get on the phone and do a Zoom call and sell the art that way, right? He doesn't even run any of it through the website. Like, none of his art sales go through the website. All of his merch and his calendars and that stuff does, but he just uses it to get people on the phone, right? So the point is that I wish more of my customers would do that, right? Everyone's like, oh, well, you take like a percentage fee. Don't even run it through the web. Don't tell anyone I said this. Don't even run it through the website. Use the website to visualize the art. For those people that want to purchase it, great. But for everyone else, get on a Zoom call with them and sell the art directly. And to be honest with you, just about everybody can do that. Jonah's selling $100,000 worth a month, and he still does it every single solitary time if he's not in his gallery. I don't know why I went on that tangent. Something else is bothering me. But anyway, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, what would be the initial like sign up fee?
Yeah. So we're expensive. And there's a reason that we're expensive because, again, the aforementioned army that goes to support you. I think the 3 plans I think we have are $49, $59, $69 a month for the website, the technology, the print on demand, all of that. And then I believe the one-time fee to get you into the university is like $1,500 or $1,600. But don't hold me to it exactly. You'll have to talk. You'll have to talk to them on the phones. But again, you know, everyone's like, "Oh, those guys are so expensive." I don't know what the alternative is. My entire argument is I laid it out to you, like. We've found out that if we want to be in business and stay in business, art storefronts, we have to do everything that we can to create successful customers. That's it. That's it. And the only way to do that is to get you guys in Zooms, you know, as much as we can, week in, week out, never stop, keep teaching you, keep motivating you, hold you accountable, and keep going. I don't know how you achieve success. You have to be one seriously motivated individual because you guys are all solopreneurs. You don't have a support system in place. You got your significant other that roots for you. You got your mother that'll always root for you, but they're not going to help you out with the nuts and bolts of the business, right? With the nuts and the bolts of the marketing, not usually anyway. So that's, you know, that's our jam.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, good enough.
Yeah. What do you do? Are you an artist or photographer?
Artist, painter.
Nice. And how do you go about selling?
Basically, do like real estate portraits and stuff. I was a real estate agent for a little while, and I was selling more house paintings than houses. So. Trying to like, you know, really get that nationwide. I'm more local right now.
That, you know, what's really interesting is there's a huge business in house commissions. No different than there's a huge business in pet portraits, right? Like I'm telling you, diehard people that love it. The danger in that, though, is once you start going down that road, you get pigeonholed in that, number one. And number two, nobody wants to buy a painting of someone else's house. They only want theirs. You know what I mean? They only want theirs. It's funny because, and please watch the Meg one, because I have a customer that, so he lives in like the foothills outside of Los Angeles, right? And he's an animator. That's his day job. He's an animator. And the strike happened. And so he saw the writing on the wall a little bit ahead of that, and he's been out of work for like 6 months. So he where he lives in these foothills of Los Angeles, there's like these iconic cabins everywhere. And so he now has this like robust business where I'm telling you, he's got commissions booked for like 6 months out. And he's painting the cabin and the person's cat. And everybody wants one. It's a huge hit. He's like, this is hilarious. And I'm like, this is hilarious. Like cats and cabins, this could be your niche, right? And it could be great. But the danger is, 1, you get chewed up and burned out. 2, you're going to be known as the house guy, right? 3, you're going to hit a ceiling because there's only so many hours you can be painting a day. And there's only so high you can charge. So someone's going to be like, okay, that's it. There's no way I'm paying $50,000 for an artwork on my house. So it's the balancing act, right? It's the balancing act of it all. So those are some things to consider. Meg in her episode talked about that quite in depth, actually. So I think you should just listen to that after the fact. And go listen to the guy with the cats in the cabins. It'll make you laugh. But do you know what's worse? Not getting any orders whatsoever. The fact that you are getting those orders, like, dude, well done to you.
Well, I mean, basically, it's the real estate agents,
yeah,
like around town that'll contact me for like closing gifts or something like that.
Yeah, but that's a business, right? Those are bringing in the dollars right now, and then you can focus on the what's next, that would potentially scale. But yeah, like it's such a rad piece of artwork to have in the house, like the favored homeowner angle of the house hanging inside the house. Like that's a killer freaking thing. The trick of it would be you become known as that guy and you don't admit who's making the work every single solitary time, and you get some understudies, right? That's how you do it. I always think back to the
Masters did it.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? What is the guy that does the dots, the famous dots? What is his name? Damian Rice. What is his name? $20 million stuffed shark. Why am I blanking on his name? He's super, super famous. Someone will tell me. Throw it in the chat. But he didn't do any of those dots himself. And he has the most genius line ever. He goes, some people, claim that my art comes off the assembly line. And they're right. It does. My understudies paint all of those things. Do you know what doesn't come off the assembly line? The ideas. And that's why my work is great. I'm just like, respect. Anyway, you got me ranted. Go get a demo. You should see. We can definitely help you.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Peter. All right. Who else, guys? Questions? What is his name? I think it's Damian. It's not Damian Rice. What is it? Now I'm going to go look and go crazy until I figure that out. Damian Hurst. I think that's his name. Yeah, James is like, okay, yeah, that's it. Who else, guys? Questions? Comments? There's a bunch of you on here right now. I know somebody else has got a question. And again, you can raise the hand digitally speaking, which is the little smiley face reactions, or you can throw your question into the chat. Any and all of the above. Why I'm doing this? I want to pull up another book. I love obviously you've been in this business for long enough that you end up wanting to read all of the books. What is it? Is it the $12 million stuffed shark? Up at the top of this thing when I was referencing the stats on how few people actually make it in the gallery model. This is the book. This book is so good. It's, I don't know, it's like, wow, it's 13 years old now. But so good. I mean, this book is so good. Another potential gray one to read. And then who is a dots? Damian Hurst, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I was right. So there it is. There's the guy that he quit doing these dots, but the original ones, I mean, they were so expensive, and all done by his understudies. So anyway, enough on that. All right, questions in the chat I saw. Does posting photos of artwork on stock photography websites help? Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if tens of hundreds of thousands of people are doing something, Jennifer, then the arbitrage is gone. I mean, you can certainly try, but you just get lost in a sea of other people. It's the same thing that happens with the marketplaces. Like, yeah, okay, you know, I've got some incredible stock photography up there. It's like, yeah, but you're up there with 1 bajillion other people, and so no one is going to find you, and as such, you're not going to stick out, right? Now AI is scanning those entire databases, so now your images are used being created computer images, so I wouldn't do it. I think it's a waste of time, personally. Yeah, this is an interesting problem. You know, the biggest problem when you digital guys is you don't ever print out the, you know, actual work so that you can show it off, right? Like, I don't care if you do digital images or if you don't do digital images. At the end of the day, a digital image ends up looking like this. Like a piece of acrylic that's real, that has 3 dimensions that I can look at. I can see how the light bounces off of. I can see that it's ready to hang. This is something that I can lust after. A digital image, you know, somewhere on your Instagram or whatever. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. What are you doing to get art storefronts out there? Yeah. So Renee, you know, we're not a marketplace. It's not one site that everyone comes to. It's not, you know, it's not Peter Dorsey at Art Storefronts or Renee Crockford at Art Storefronts. It's ReneeCrockford.com. It's PeterDorsey.com. It's your website. You own it. So it's what are you doing getting people to it? And that's what we teach all year long. And Jennifer's asking me, what's the best way to gain customers? There's no best way. Regular and consistent marketing all year long. You know, there's no fancy tricks or I mean, don't get me wrong, there's tradecraft here or there. But the only thing that matters is regular and consistent marketing. What does that mean? Regular and consistent marketing. Capturing emails all year long. Offline, online, ways to do both. Regularly and consistently emailing those emails. Running sales when the time is appropriate. Regularly posting on the socials, okay? Doing all of that all consistently all year long is what we teach, right? Yeah, everyone loves to get into the legal arguments. I stay away from them because it doesn't benefit anyone anything. You know, the copyright laws, copying other people's work, the Supreme Court case. Like, there's really only one problem in this business, and that's getting the work to sell. Everything else is pretty easy, right? Like, you have a copyright issue? Okay, deal with the copyright issue after you're selling a ton of work. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And you know, one of the funny things is that I have a number of different customers that will paint celebrities with questionable legal rights in the hopes that they can sell enough work that the celebrity's gatekeeper will call them and iron out a licensing deal. That's it. They don't ask permission. They don't go to a lawyer. They just get going and try and get enough attention such that the work sells, such that they can actually get a call back. And it's a genius little hack, right? It's a genius little hack. There is no most popular piece of art, Jennifer. It's an utter, total, and complete mixed bag. You know, like the premise to your question is that if you somehow know what the most popular selling X, Y, or Z is, that you are going to be able to achieve that level of success by then creating it. And it's a false premise. You know, 50% of the sale is the art. The other 50% of the sale is the artist, who they are, what makes them tick, what makes them interesting, what they're interested in. Are they a dog person or a cat person? Are they a foodie? Do they like going to CrossFit? People get bonded to the artist just as much as they get bonded to the artwork itself, right? Yeah, Carell, you know, she says there's a crime ring duplicating online art sales sites, making sales that are hidden from the artist. This is such a bunch of bullshit, okay? You got 99 problems as an artist, and your artwork being stolen from the internet and being duplicated and sold is not one of them. It is not one of them. Everyone loves to focus on variations of this stupid trope. Do you know how hard it is to sell the work? Extremely hard. There is nothing else that's difficult in this business aside from getting the art in front of enough eyeballs to actually sell. These people that are going around spreading these stories of my work's getting ripped off and they're selling and making millions, bullshit. Show me one. I will call the person on the phone afterwards and I will interview them, and you will find that it does not exist. It's made up. Like nothing is getting stolen in any significance out there. Like it just does not work. These are all unicorn. I'm sure it's happened a couple of times, but they are utter, total, and complete unicorns. And what it does is it scares the hell out of a bunch of artists from ever making any forward progress in their damn business whatsoever, which is why it infuriates me. Right? Like I just can't hear that nonsense anymore. Do not let that get in your head and slow you down from taking positive steps towards you trying to sell your art. Art is not stolen off the internet. It is not duplicated by anyone. That is not happening to you. You have 99 problems and that is not one. It just is not, right? Yeah, you can do that all day long, Zachary. You know, at the end of the day, everyone's like, well, I want to sell to interior designers. I want to sell to high net worth buyers. I want to sell to high. Yeah, okay, great. You get their attention. Do you know how you get their attention? Not by calling them directly. Everyone tries to do that. You do it by regular and consistent marketing, right? There's no stupid questions. Don't worry about that. Yes, exactly right, Belinda. She's asking like, what do I need an email list for? It's the one way that which you are able to communicate. You know, you're able to communicate with. So one thing that can't be taken away from you in terms of your marketing. You could be kicked off Instagram tomorrow. You could have 1 million followers. They'll pull the rug on you. They won't even write you a letter. You won't even know. The email is the only thing that you technically own, or the snail mail address or the phone number, right? So it's a very, very important thing to grab. I want to show you something, Zach, and I want to go back to what I was showing earlier. So Jonah, right? So impressive. You guys got to watch this. But Jonah, 29-year-old kid, right? And he gets his art into this super ritzy hotel, which is called, I think it's called the Owls Beach Hotel. And in the podcast story, I'm like, dude, how did you get your art into this hotel, right? This is every artist's dream. How did you get your art into this hotel? And do you know how he did it? He didn't call the hotel. He didn't know somebody that was working at the hotel. He didn't, flyer the hotel or postcard the hotel or try to show it ads. Somebody who knew the person that was decorating followed Jonah and recommended him. That's how it happens in the real world. You don't get into any of these hotels or any of these art publishers, any of these interior designers because you're tracking them down and you're whacking them directly. How it happens is that you focus on your ground game and what you control, regular and consistent marketing and being awesome, and they find you. That's how it works in the real world. So that's what I would say. And someone from Ethiopia is asking if we're international. Yeah, we are. We are international. You can use it from anywhere. And he's saying he's an Ethiopian artist. It doesn't matter if you're in Ethiopia or if you're in Europe or if you're Canada or wherever else. Turns out it doesn't matter what language either. You all equally have a huge marketing problem that you need to fix, right? And until you start working on it, the business doesn't grow. What most of our international customers do, especially the ones in Australia and New Zealand, because it's so far away, if they get orders regularly domestically, they take care of it on their own. If they get North American orders, we take care of it for them. And so that's how it works. Yeah. Okay, I feel like I'm losing my voice already on a Wednesday. I have like 20 of these things left to do. Better focus on my A game. But who else, guys? Questions? Comments? Concerns? Anything about anything? Otherwise, I will send the recorded version of this to you guys later. I'm going to throw these other 2 articles in the chat. Well, you know what? I'm just going to tell Juan who's going to be sending the email later today. I got to remind him to include these 2 things. I'm going to include both of the podcast episodes with Meg and Jonah. And you include Meg, Jonah posts with ABW email. All right. I just sent a note. And I don't have to put them in there. I can send them to you. And no, Jennifer, I don't believe that there's a better way to market than social media currently. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, what we teach is, a massive combination of everything, right? Like, we don't just teach how to market on the social media sites. We teach you how to maximize in-person events. We teach you how to run QR codes. We teach you how to try to get your artwork into restaurants and cafes and doctors' offices. We teach you how to leverage folks that have large followings, right? And if you go back to the Meg thing, one of the things I love more than anything else is the loop. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys about the loop. The loop is just this. Patrick, I want to grow my business, and I'm thinking about boosting some posts on Facebook and Instagram. That looks like a good idea. It looks like something I could do. Do not boost posts ever under any circumstances, okay? Do not. Do this instead. Get a print made of your work or get some merch made of your work. Run a giveaway. Hey, guys, it's Friday. I'm giving away such and such because I'm in a good mood. To enter, all you have to do is put your email in wherever, all right? You capture emails. A week later, you announce who won. You send the email to that person, congratulations. You send the email to everyone else. Thanks for entering. I don't ever win anything either. Take 15% off on my store for the next 48 hours. You can run that loop an infinite number of times in an infinite number of ways, and it's essentially one of the greatest ways to advertise. So, when I played the Meg clip for you, right, this one, and when she was talking about how she sold so many mugs that shut her business, they shut her bank account down. She found an account, I think it was on Instagram, that was just like a Ted Lasso account, right? The show. And it was just like fans of Ted Lasso. And the account had like 16 million followers or something obscene. And she ran the loop with them. She went to that guy, was like, hey, I've got these cool Ted Lasso mugs and I want to give a couple of them away. Will you announce it on your page? He did. She did a sale afterwards, and that's what happened. So there you go. All the kinds of things that we teach. And so it's not just marketing on the socials, but yes, you need to market on the socials. Like, you have to be contrarian in today's day and age, right? Like, I'm a social media marketing expert. I've been doing this my entire career. I hate the socials. I hate posting on the socials, but I'm contrarian, right? It's like I'm a fisherman that hates being on the water. At the same time, though, my job is to catch fish. So I take my ass down to the dock and I get on the boat and I drive the boat to where the fish are because that's my job. And it's your job too. And where the fish are in the highest propensity right now is on the damn social media sites. And so we need them, unfortunately. But there's other ways too. And I get this all the time. Is using Ted Lasso? No, it's not a copyright violation. It was for a charity. He was there. He signed the thing. And that was that. And she talks about it in the podcast episode. I'm going to share this with you, Sharon, so that you have that. Watch this. Everyone is like, yeah, see, she didn't have any personal permission to get that done. It's like, yeah, but she got it done. So, I don't know. I don't want to get in that argument. Anyway, any final questions, guys, before we wrap up? Can be anything about anything. Yeah, James, I got you. Go ahead. Nice to see you again.
All right. I hope you can hear me. My headphones just died. So I was just accepted to Moscow State University for my PhD studies. So I will likely be relocating to Moscow at the end of this year or early next year. I really need to get my website lifted before then, and I get this going. But after I relocate, I will likely want to cross market and be able to translate all of my media content into both languages. So have some sort of compatibility.
Do you know how easy that is now with AI? Oh my gosh. You get that done literally in a day. All of it. Every single solitary word on your website and then some. Crazy thing.
What?
Yeah. Like I could take the entire session that we finished today. You call it an hour and a half, 2 hours. And in 10 minutes, I can have 98% accurate Russian transcript done. All of it translated into Russian. 98% accuracy. And maybe Russian's like 97.5%. But boom, done in 2 seconds. And do you know what that'll cost? It'll cost like $1.50. It's insane. It's insane. What are you getting your PhD in?
Because you just plug in it, like copy and paste it in.
Yeah, it's just AI now and what they can do with translation. What are you getting a PhD in?
International law and human rights.
Interesting.
So right now I'm finishing my MA in American law, in law, in America.
Yeah, good for you. A PhD is no joke, dude. No joke. My wife has a PhD in applied research methodology, fancy word for statistics, and that was a whole lot of school for her. Let me tell you, whole lot. So I don't envy you that part.
Yeah, I'm like I can't help it. I'm working on like my fourth degree. I don't know. You know, sometimes I just wonder why I'm on this planet again. But my goal is to contribute to global politics, especially as we form the Neo-Arctic region. You know, where America, Russia, and China come together, and I feel like a new world will emerge as we form those new trading ports. So I'd like to be part of shaping that new world. And my great-grandfather's a politician, so I kind of want to pick up where he left off.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah. So I'm also in contact with Hebrew University in Jerusalem. So I don't know. You know, I like wish I could chop myself up, right? Sprinkle it around the world. But
yeah, octopus status.
Figure it out.
Good luck. Good. If that works out, let me know. But yeah.
Like an octopus, you know?
Yeah, exactly right. But good luck with all that. Awesome. Let us know. You know where to find us.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly plan on getting things lifted here. I think growing my audience with art and public speaking is going to be key to having any kind of presence globally. That's part of who I am.
Awesome. Thanks, James. Do you speak, Do you speak Hebrew or Russian?
I'm working on the first year I'm in Russia. We'll be learning Russian essentially.
Yeah.
And you know, Russian is like a combination of like Greek, Hebrew, and German.
I don't know. Cyrillic alphabet seems a little different to me, but all right.
Russian's almost like modern Hebrew. I mean, in my opinion, it's like Greebrew.
Classic. All right, I'm muting you. I'm running out of steam. Who else, guys? Any final questions? Otherwise, we will call it a day. I will send you the replay, send you all the links. It's coming, guys. Q-Thor's coming. I want you guys to get fired up about it. Get ready. Whether you sign up with us or not, it doesn't matter. It's the best time of year to be selling your art. So I really hope you guys all take that seriously and try to start doing some marketing now. You know, think about it. Don't treat it like a New Year's resolution. Don't wake up like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and be like, oh, I got to do something. You've already lost. You know, you got to start now. You got to start now. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your week.